So right now it's around 11:23 a.m. This is the time I usually feel panicky. It usually starts around 11 a.m. and it slowly increases. So by around 11:20, 11:30, that's when the panic really gets stronger, and all the symptoms, all the sensations, that's when they really increase. When I say really increase, they go from like a 1, slowly build up to a 10. So right now I can feel it, but I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna let it happen. Earlier it did feel really strong. I felt this, the our body sensation, the detached feeling, the disoriented feeling where you don't really know what's going on. Like you can't focus on anything. How you focus on everything all at once, and then you don't know what you're doing or what you're thinking. So that's how I kind of feel like right now. But I'm not gonna react to it. I haven't been reacting to my panic attacks lately. I was still talking about how I feel, but I don't really react to them, because when I don't react to them, you know, they don't last as long. But the more I react to them, it can last up to an hour, if not longer. So we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna keep the camera on me. I might not even talk or anything, but I'm gonna try my best not to what you call it, to distract myself. Like I'll bite my gum, bite my lips, touch my head, scratch my hair, scratch the side of my head, my nose, my lips, or touch my touch my face, anything like that. I'm just gonna try not to do anything, but just sit here and act as normal as possible. I'm just looking out my window. I mean, I'm still gonna talk, but I'm not gonna really, say how I'm feeling or anything, because I know if I say it, then that means I'm paying attention to how I'm feeling. And keep in mind, I'm sitting down, I'm not laying down. I just put a pillow behind my head, because I have a bad habit of like not putting any support on my neck. So when I sat down on the bed when I'm watching TV, I didn't put pillows, and then that also um, triggered me into having like stiff necks and headaches, because I wasn't supporting my neck. So I think in a way that could have caused me to have like neck problems and dizziness as well. So for now, I'm gonna try to like take better care of my neck, and also I'm just gonna look out the window and you know see what happens. I know I should just walk outside, but I haven't ate lunch, and I don't want to go outside and walk around and then you know have someone tell me your food is ready. So, but I am gonna go for a walk later on and for a bike ride, both maybe. I'm trying my best not to bite my gum or anything like that. Anything to distract my mind, I'm trying my best not to. Cause when you have anxiety, you tend to like touch your head. If you're wearing a hat, or touch your head, anywhere around your face, your nose, your mouth, your whatever. in a way, I did pick up that habit of biting my gum, touching my hat, scratching, and all that other stuff. Before I never did any of that stuff, but I picked it up ever since I had anxiety. So now it became a bad habit, and I'm trying to break my habits. But bad habits are hard to break. I also been falling asleep earlier. Um, like I mentioned, when I say early, that means I sleep before midnight. Um, like around 11 o'clock. When I sometimes I wouldn't fall asleep till like 3 a.m. and then I wake up at around 7 or so. But now I've been falling asleep around 11, and when I do wake up in the middle of the night, I usually wake up at the same time every day. It's always around 3:25 a.m. If I fell asleep around 3 a.m., I'll wake up at 3:25, so I'll wake up 25 minutes later. I don't know what it is, but it's always the same time every time when I wake up or when I feel panicky. It's the same time every day. I know it's because I always when I wake up I always look at there goes my nose. I always wake up at the same time because I look at the time on my phone. That's how I know. But also when I do that, it turns into a bad habit because I would automatically think if I woke up at 3:25 every time, 3:25 a.m., I would automatically think that's like a trigger, you know. Another thing is, like I say, I always feel panicky around 11:25 a.m. It, it could be because, like, I feel panicky at that time, and then if I don't, I start looking at the time, and then I automatically say I'm gonna panic because it's that time, and then I'm tricking my mind into feeling panicky at that time. So that's what I'm trying to do right now is, you know, see how I feel and if I don't feel panicky at 11:25, then I'm gonna keep looking at the time and slowly let my my brain know that there's no difference between 11:25 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to do is like erase all that negativity from my mind, like what I think my triggers are. By doing so, I can like do things better. Cause when I start leaving my house, when I was challenging myself to leave the house for the 157th day, the first few weeks, when I did leave my house, it was always around 8 p.m. So I was leaving around evening. So then I would slowly like go out around 7:50, 7:30. I would like go out earlier by 10 to 15 minutes early every day because you know that feeling when you feel panicky or before you leave. I will always say I'll leave in 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So that 5 minutes, every time I say 5 minutes, my anxiety spikes up. It's because I'm building up into that panicky moment. So if I say 5 minutes and that 5 minute pass and I still feel panicky, I'll say, okay, 5 more minutes. I want that panicky feeling to decrease, not increase. But what it does is it increases because making myself more panicky by saying, oh, I'll wait till it calms down. But then one day, I feel panicky and just walk right out the house, and from that point on, I feel less panicky because I didn't allow myself to stop. I didn't allow myself to stop and think about how I was feeling. I just went out. Once I feel that panicky feeling, I just walked out. Or I didn't allow myself to build up into that, that level 1 sensation to the level 2 to level 3 and so on. Because by doing so, I was like avoiding how panicky I was feeling. Because I can go from like feeling calm to panicky just within a few seconds because I'm thinking about it in my mind. So in a way, I'm triggering myself to have a panic attack. I mean, sometimes even talking about it can trigger you to having it because you're thinking about it and your mind doesn't want you to think about it. But since you're thinking about it so much that you're telling your brain that that's all you know how to do is to panic. So I think, for me, I think that's the only way that kind of helps me. So if I trigger myself into having a panic attack, why can't I trigger myself into feeling calm? Why can't I tell myself not to have a panic attack? It's because I rewire my brain to only feel panicky, not to feel calm. But if I can allow myself to feel panicky and not and just work through the panic feeling, my brain will probably say, he doesn't care anymore. This panicky feeling is considered normal to him, so he can live his life feeling the way he feels, because I did it before, and this last few days I kind of let myself slip by paying too much attention to how I was feeling, by letting it get to me. Don't get me wrong, I was still going outside and leaving my house and all, but I was like letting those little flashback moments get to me. But now I'm like, okay, I'm having flashbacks, but how about I have these flashbacks and not do anything about them, just allow them to happen and not run away from them. Because the more I run from them, the harder it is for me to recover. Because this happened to me before, so that's why I said I failed. I failed before, because when I was having little to no anxiety, last year around late August to mid September, is because I was doing stuff I was doing before I had anxiety. I was living life how I was before. I mean, even though I didn't leave the house that often, anything, but what I was doing at home, I was like using the computer, walking around the house, going to the backyard, watching TV, stuff like that. Things that people that doesn't have anxiety can do without feeling panicky. So I was living my so-called normal life, and then when I was doing that, my mind wouldn't remind me of that I have panic attacks. And then I think when I was doing that, the part of my brain that triggers me into having panic attacks just completely forgot. But one day when I reminded myself I had panic attacks, it just hit me hard because it felt like I woke that part of my mind that didn't want to come out. It's like if you had a nightmare and you wake up and you think about it, sometimes you think about it, you might have that dream again, because it happens to me. So now I'm going to try my best to forget the panicky feeling and just work my way through it. Act like it's not there. Even though it's there, I'm just gonna act like it's not. I'll still talk about it, which I know is gonna trigger me, but if it triggers me and I can work through it, push through it like I have before, then I think I can reach my next goal, which is to live with this disorder and push my limits even further than I have. I mean, I reached a couple of my goals. For example, about 2 weeks ago, my dad and I went to my cousin's house, which is an hour away from me. I thought I would never be able to go, but my anxiety didn't try to stop me. You know, my anxiety didn't say, hey, stay home. I went and I felt fine. I've been going to the store, been going for longer car rides, stuff like that. I've been waking up. When I wake up, I don't have those negative thoughts in my mind anymore. I don't say I'm gonna have a bad day. I'm gonna have this many panic attacks. Nothing like that. If you watch my old videos, you'll see that I was suffering, like where my facial expression was really bad. I was always looking depressed. I couldn't barely open my eyes, and now I feel more alive. I mean, I live in the house. I don't feel depressed. I might be sitting on my bed, but when I'm sitting on my bed, I'm like watching TV. I'm on my phone. I'm looking for jobs. I'm applying for jobs. I'm watching YouTube videos on how to do things like how to use Adobe Photoshop. Learning how to do things that I was trying to learn before I had anxiety, but I'm going back to those days where I was just like photoshopping stuff, trying to edit videos, just learning how to do things. So that's pretty much all I've been doing, just going back to living the life before I had anxiety. If I continue to have anxiety, I'm just gonna live my life with anxiety. I mean, I'm gonna continue to live, and right now, the peak of the anxiety just completely left me because I didn't react to it. See, by reacting to it, I'm telling my brain that's all I can do is to panic. But if I tell my brain that if I show my brain that that's not all I can focus on, my brain will allow me to focus on what I want to focus on. It's not telling me to, hey, you should focus on panic attacks because that's all you know how to do. But yeah, I'm about to eat my dinner.